Blog Talk Radio. Chatting with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard. Hi everyone, it's Chatting with Nat. Yes, it's Natalie Jean. Yes, it's Natalie Jean. Today we have the honor of having multi-award-winning pianist Sophia Agranovich. I hope I said that right. Sophia Agranovich, an internationally acclaimed multi-award-winning pianist, recording artist, educator, Steinway Artist, and a Juilliard graduate, is a bold, daring pianist in the tradition of the Golden Age Romantics, a tigress of the keyboard, Fanfare possessing, magnificent shading and superior musicianship American record guide. Mrs. Agranovich has performed in USA, Europe, Israel, Canada, was invited to China, and has collaborated with renowned musicians and members of major orchestras. Her 9 CD albums and live concerts are broadcasted on major stations worldwide. She is a NARAS voting member, program chair of Music Educators Association of New Jersey, and is the director of classical music series at the Watchung Arts Center. Let's give her a round of applause. Hi, Sophia. How are you?
Oh, hi, Natalie. I'm fine. Thank you very much. And thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to talk to everyone. And congratulations on your current win on Josie Awards, by the way.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So how have you been during this crazy thing we're calling a pandemic?
We survived, so that's good.
Yes. We're still...
Yeah, so actually it gave me time to reflect on life, practice more.
Okay.
And, I adjusted because I started teaching online, which was very good. I learned new repertoire. So I think under the circumstances, it actually didn't impact me personally very much, but of course psychologically it is very hard, and and we feel imprisoned, but now thank God we can do stuff, we can go out finally.
Now with your type of music, because you're a pianist, did you try to do any of the live streaming?
Yes, I did 3 live streaming. But yeah, I discovered it only since February. Yeah, I did actually May and 2 in May and 1 in June. Yes.
Okay.
2 of them were complete solo concert. One was maybe half an hour concert.
Okay. And how did you like that experience?
It turned out much better than I expected. I actually put on YouTube a couple of videos. Which was from my living room, and it gave me a chance to tune a piano finally. It's interesting because I did feel, maybe it was my imagination, but I did feel some vibes from the public. It was very interesting. Of course, nothing can replace the live performance.
No,
but if I knew, I would start doing it much earlier than that, and probably I will continue to do it once in a while.
I think one of the things that we learned during the pandemic is that we learned new tricks of the trade, meaning that there's more of an environment, more that we can do in the music industry than, it's great to be able to perform, on a stage in front of thousands of people or a few people, but it gave us a different avenue that we can use at the same time to be able to get our music heard and seen by our fans and other people that didn't even know about it. So I think that's fantastic. Now, you said that during the pandemic, you did a lot of reflection, and that's one of my, next question that I ask, because as we can see, the pandemic was obviously awful, but it actually gave people time to think about a lot of things. Like I tell everybody, I have friends that decided they were going to quit their job because they realized that's not what they want to do. They want to do something that makes them happy because they realize that life is even shorter because of the pandemic. There's some people that, decided, they're going to cut back on work because they realized they didn't, spend enough time with their family. Mother Nature and the animals were able to run free because nobody was in the street with climate change. They did a study where the pollution went down. So there were a lot of bad things, but there were a lot of good things where people just reevaluated their life, and some people really saw their worth during that time. And as musicians, there's some artists that totally rebranded. They decided they want to do something else. They took their music down. They reinvented themselves. There are some artists that decided they wanted to be an effective player in life with their music, because we as artists have a true gift. I mean, music has the power to heal and move mountains, in my opinion. So did you have any of those ideas in your head where you might decide to write a different type of piece in your repertoire? Did you think about anything like that?
Oh, yeah, of course. It was the whole reevaluation of the whole career all over again, because I changed career actually twice. And reevaluation of life and relationships and nature, everything exactly what you said. Yeah, I decided to, maybe to learn other composers. I improvise a lot. I don't play it publicly, but I improvise on my own a lot. I compose also, nobody, but it's all in a classic romantic style. It's not in the very modern style. But, definitely I'm planning to learn many new pieces. And also it was good because when I started teaching online, it opened a lot of possibilities for teaching, for teaching all kinds from, you can teach from any state, from any country. Right. And weather is not a problem and distance is not a problem. So it's very good. A lot of people I know who started working in other jobs, but they work remotely. They don't want to go back to the office anymore. But in a way, it's good because it would save on rent for some of companies. And it's actually, we should always seek positive in whatever happens, because so there were a lot of positives in this way. And also, a lot of people reevaluated their health and their diet and the way they live. So I hope a lot of people made a lot of healthier choices, and it would help them in the future. So that's happened. Yeah.
I definitely.
So you're right. It was very positive in some ways.
Yeah, it was definitely, and I like the fact that you bring up the lifestyle change, the body, mind, and soul change of things, because I think a lot of people did that as well. I mean, when the pandemic first hit, I was eating I normally work out. I work out every day, and when the pandemic hit, it's like, oh, okay, I'll have some Oreo cookies. I'll have stuff that I normally don't eat. And so, I like everybody else. I gained weight. I've taken it off because I got a Peloton. and the Peloton has become my new boyfriend because I'm on it 2 hours a day. But it's, it's true. I think overall it was more of a mind, body, soul reevaluation for a lot of people. Now, where are you originally from, and when did you come to the U.S.?
I'm originally from Ukraine, but when I was born, it used to be a republic of the Soviet Union, Ukrainian USSR. Now it's a separate country, everyone knows. And I was born in a very, very beautiful westernized city, Chernivtsi. It's really, really beautiful, called Paris and Vienna in miniature. I still miss it. Believe it or not. I migrated to U.S. when I was 15 years old. And yes. So most of my life I live here in U.S.
In the USA. Okay, so
Yeah.
what was it about the piano, about music overall, that made you say, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do with my life? Was it something that you saw? Was it something that you heard? Did your parents make you take piano? What was it that you're like, okay, this is it for me?
Everybody took piano and violin, kids take foreign language. So it was a fashionable thing to take piano and any other instrument. So I was, playing by ear a lot. I took formal lessons, started taking formal lessons at 5. But I have a lot of it. I still do have a lot of other interests. And of course, as a child, I loved everything. I liked sports. I wanted to be a ballet dancer. I wanted to be a doctor. I read a lot. I was dreaming a lot. I loved to draw and paint and sculpt because, I love art still. So music was just like a side product of overall education, but I didn't practice much, and everybody said that I play so well, and I didn't understand why they were saying it. So, I entered the music school, didn't practice much, everything came so easy, but I used to go to concerts because in our town there were very famous musicians and very good musicians from Russian piano school, like Sviatoslav Richter, Emil Gilius, Bela Davidovich. They came to our town and played. And when I listened to their concert, it just transported me to completely another world, which I couldn't explain or describe. And I loved that feeling. So when I played at home, I tried to imitate, and I couldn't. I didn't know how on my level. But when I heard Chopin's music, I was just swept. We had a lot of classical records, which my parents played. My mother sang a lot of opera arias. She had beautiful voice, and she was very artistic. So I put Chopin. I heard Sviatoslav Richter playing Chopin, and I came home and I found that LP and I put it on, and I was just like listening and listening. I couldn't understand. It was so magical. I couldn't even analyze what makes it like this. And that's what it was, like big mystery. And that's when I started practicing more and trying to listen to all the nuances, why, because some of these things, it's unexplainable. You try to analyze, but it should be always magic in a performance or music. And so that's, and then logically they say, oh, you should be a pianist because, you play in this concert, you won this competition. And I said, no, I like too many things. So we came to America. And my teachers told me, oh, you have to apply to Juilliard school because they thought I should be a musician. So I said, okay, I'll apply to Juilliard school. So I applied to pre-college. I got in, and I didn't even understand the significance of that. And, the head of the piano department, Sasha Garnitsky, was one of the best teachers at the time. He took me in as the only second. He had only 2 pre-college students in his lifetime. So I started practicing more seriously and started playing, and I still didn't make up my mind to be a musician because I still loved too many things.
Right.
And I saw how hard it is to be a musician because I started, I was a teenager, and especially for a woman if she wants to have a family. So I didn't have much encouragement from my family. They wanted me just to be normal, normal person. But, I graduated Juilliard, and then things just, changed. So that's another story. But right now I'm a musician. It's a long story.
So would you consider yourself a prodigy?
I don't consider myself a prodigy, but people thought I am because, I didn't practice much, and, it came so easy, and I played when I discovered Chopin, I started learning those Chopin etudes and everything. So by age 12, I played all 24 etudes and some other pieces. And at 13, I played Chopin First Concerto, actually, in a concert. So everybody said, you're a prodigy. So I said, so what, because I always compare myself with the great masters, and, there is so much room for improvement. And, I understood that being a prodigy is helping, but it's not the final word, the final word, what happens later, and the product. because if a young prodigy plays, it's always amazing. And I did have a lot of students who were prodigies. It's amazing, and I love teaching. But what happens afterwards, what goal, that's what's important. So that's basically it. So I'm still trying to improve on that for myself.
I mean, obviously, I would consider you definitely a prodigy. But during your childhood years, was there a lot of stress put on you to be great as a pianist?
I always, whenever I do anything, even cleaning the house, I try to do the best job I can, and I just like to do things good. So whenever I practice, it wasn't much, but this practice time was very intense. And so I think I put more stress on myself than my parents or my teachers, and I actually enjoyed practicing and playing. It was not stressful for me. It was like expression of me. And, you know, I love the physical work because playing piano with all these chords and octaves and jumps, it's very hard. It's almost athletic work. And I really enjoyed it because I loved sports. I liked ballet and swimming and all that stuff. So I really enjoyed it. And because I didn't think that seriously that, I have to compete, I should become a musician, I took it just as an entertainment, as a pleasurable, time spending. That's all. So I didn't feel stress there, but I started feeling stress in Juilliard because Juilliard was extremely and still is very competitive. Everybody is secluded. Everybody constantly practices. There are a lot of politics, but politics are everywhere,
Yeah.
But it's a very lonely profession because especially if you're not in orchestra, like for pianists, because you play one instrument, you don't need accompanist, which is a good thing.
Right.
You can do it all alone because it's like the full orchestra, but it's very lonely, and people were, it's a certain atmosphere in Juilliard. I tried to keep above that. I was always dreaming about something. I was never dressed like anyone. I never behaved like everyone. So everybody said I'm strange because I was too normal.
But I love that.
I survived that.
But I love that because you remained yourself. I mean, obviously, you remained very authentic. I mean, is it important for you to be an authentic person? Because, I think stereotypically people have a worldview of what a pianist is supposed to be. Just very, classical, very almost perfect. I like the fact that you weren't like the rest. You basically were yourself. Was that important to you?
I did. You see, it's interesting because when everybody tries to be an individual and tries to look different and tries to be different, when I'm just trying to be what I enjoy the most and try to be normal, and I'm very conservative in a lot of views and in behavior, I was more abnormal than anyone else in comparison. So because everything is in comparison, right? You cannot, it's philosophical thing. Everything, you learn everything in comparison because in itself you don't see anything. Even you don't see yourself unless you look in the mirror, right? So I didn't try to be myself because I was trying to discover who I am. I had no idea, especially teenager. It's very difficult, teenage girls. And I didn't want to talk to my parents. I didn't want to upset them. I'm still searching. We're all searching for ourselves. We always discover different facets of personality and taste. Plus, we're changing with life and times. So who are we? So, but by seeking and trying not to be strong and not to be swayed by someone and go against what you think is right, and have so that's what I mean by being yourself. But I'm still discovering who I am. as we are all, but some people more aware of it than others. So I thought, okay, so people think I'm strange, so what? I'm not trying to be strange. I'm just I'm very proper. I don't try to be strange.
The stranger the better for me. The stranger the better. Because you know what? I love when people call me strange. I love when people call me names because I'm very authentic. I don't have time to play a game and play a role. I think it's
I think you're a very sincere person. I don't see you as strange at all. You know? Well, I think you're very authentic, and it's not strange. Strange when something is on purpose, something that you know, clashes with everything, and it's such a dissonance, and it's a philosophical question again. But when you're true to yourself and something, I think you're closer to being to the real thing, which is basically it's very simple. Like, it's like music of Mozart. You know, why Mozart is a genius. Everybody knows Mozart. Why he's a genius? His music is so simple. It's like child's tune. All children love this. They call it Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but it's actually a melody written by Mozart. But why Mozart has such impact? And when they say, like, it's a research and helps in learning, why do they pick Mozart, not Beethoven or Chopin? Because beauty and truth is in simplicity. And it's very hard to comprehend, because simple has all the facets. It's like rainbow has, all the colors of rainbow becomes white when you spin it. That's it. And it's very hard. Simplicity is very hard to come about, because simplicity is a combination of everything in itself.
Exactly. No, but I am authentic. You know, it's just life is short. I'd rather be real than something than not. I just don't have time for, I'm very nice. Now, if somebody comes at me the wrong way, the first time I'm going to be very nice, and then if they get me angry, then
But that's good, because I'm known not to have good self-defense mechanism, because I try, I'm very, very strong, and I have a lot of willpower, but I don't like to offend people.
Right.
And it's my big problem.
Yeah, no, I don't have, I try not to offend people. I try to be very, how do I put it, very terse. I try not to, but if somebody offends me, I'm going to tell them a few things. I mean, I'll give you an experience.
That's good.
I mean, because one person, they saw me win a bunch of awards, and they messaged me on Facebook, and they said, I like your music, but you're not that good. Why do you keep winning?
Wow. Oh, my God.
So I gave them a few words, and I said, because he said, don't you think those awards are suspicious because you keep winning? And I said, no, maybe somewhere I have talent. Needless to say, I'm not friends with that person. In fact, I haven't seen that person on Facebook in years. So, sometimes in this world, when you're really good, like you can get attacked. I think people get jealous of what you do, but we both put in a lot of work. I mean, I haven't been to Juilliard. I mean, that is just exceptional. You have to agree that's exceptional to be accepted by Juilliard, and then be a prodigy on top of it. It's just awe-inspiring. Do you ever get people that come to you like that and say, "My God, you're good, but you're not that good"? They can't say that.
Not directly. It's actually I have a tendency, and I used to have to belittling what I do, because I was taught that that modesty actually in Russia it was a saying that modesty actually enhances the personality, and my parents were very strict. You shouldn't dress modest, everything. So, and I have a tendency, and I always extremely self-critical. I'm my worst critic, because it's amazing, I don't like anything I play, so I always think I can play much better, and why screw that. So whenever people tell me, and sometimes if it's a constructive criticism, I welcome it. It's like when I teach my students. But if it's a tint of jealousy or something belittling, which everybody gets it. I get it too. Sometimes it's indirect. Sometimes I find it out from the third person. It's very hurtful. But I'm kind of so used to it, I kind of like try to expect it. And then I say to me, like, my daughter teaches me how to live sometimes, because she's a little bit like you. She's that person who says, "Mom, so what?" Yes, Mom. I said, exactly. She goes, "So what?" So from now on, when something happens, I say, "So what?" it doesn't impact anything in the real scheme of things. When we die and everything, this wouldn't be left. What will be left, it's what legacy we leave, how we influence other people, So when I always try to rise, maybe not to rise, it's too big a word, to rise on one occasion, try to detach myself. It's like when you meditate, you try to detach from situation, which is very hard because you're still in your body.
Right.
And think, and what I tend when person is really vicious, and we meet all kinds of people, I try, and I'm not patronizing, but pity them, because it means how we treat others, it's reflection how we think about ourselves.
Exactly.
It means something is lacking in their life. Maybe they're unhappy. Maybe they have, because when people are in good mood, they like everything around. When people don't like something or they criticize, it means they lack self-respect, or they're deficient in something. So they really need help. Or sometimes, it's almost like in a Christian religion. You give other cheek. You help people. When somebody is bad, you try to treat it with goodness. It doesn't work many times because you have to be self-defensive, but that's my first reaction. Something wrong with them. So many times, with, I'm friendly with everyone. I don't think I have enemies or, because of the attitude, and it helps me a lot. I don't see, if somebody hurts or say something, I see the situation and I answer in such a way, maybe indirectly, I just calm them down. I never, but sometimes it hurts me, because sometimes you have to really, if somebody comes with the knife to you, you have to protect yourself. But, so I'm still learning. Anyway, so that.
I get it. I completely get it. So we're going to play, you sent me Beethoven. We're going to play that now. Is this your interpretation of Beethoven?
Yes. Which one are you going to play? Because I sent you a couple of things.
Beethoven.
Yeah. Which piece?
I don't know.
I'll hear it. Okay, because I have a couple of them. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to play that now. Hold on 1 second. Whoa. I mean,
yeah, it's.
I don't believe in the word perfect because I don't believe there's anything that's perfect. But I would have to make an exception right here. Right here.
Oh, thank you. It's that's Beethoven. If you hear.
Go ahead.
You should hear it on real live or on actual CD because there are so many nuances, and I'm actually surprised that over the phone and everything it still sounded okay. But you should listen to that piece. Like I I'll send you the link to SoundCloud or Spotify.
Yeah, you're on Spotify. I have Spotify, so I can find you.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to, I love classical music, but my uncle who lives with me and my mother, he adores classical music. And I am going to get him to listen to your CD, your music.
Oh,
because,
thank you. That would be good.
He loves. That's all he listens to is classical music, and he is just going. His mouth is going to drop open because this is just. I don't even know what to say. Because my God, that was pure perfection. That was, awe-inspiring. It's like I should drop down to my knees when I see you. And just,
it's not me, it's Beethoven.
No. See, here's where you're wrong, in my opinion. It is you. Because you put your energy, your soul. Yes, Beethoven wrote whatever, but that's you playing. That's not Beethoven. That's you.
I'm trying to. Yeah.
No one can, as far as I'm concerned, no one can do what you just did. Okay? That is your energy. That is your soul that you just put into that piece. That is you. That is Sophia. That is not Beethoven. That is his piece. But that is your that is your gift. That is your gift to the world. You are a product.
Thank you.
You are life. I listened to it and I'm just listening. You took somebody on a journey. I'm telling you, if somebody never heard of Beethoven and they listened to that, they would be hooked. They wouldn't even listen to Beethoven. They would listen to you. And
I'm trying to project all of this music because a lot of people are not exposed. They know who Beethoven, but there's so many nice, beautiful pieces, and they have no idea what treasure is there. So I'm trying actually to save that legacy because, it's very hard because life goes on. So we have more equally beautiful, nice music. So, this old music has it's old in comparison. Of course, it's not old. So if more people get exposed to it, and even classical musicians, we don't know. I don't know every single piece, every single classical composer wrote or romantic or something. There's some gems and some unknown music. So I think it's our, if we're not composers ourselves, it's our task is to prolong. It's a legacy to the next generation and current people who don't know what it is. But whatever you said, it's just a huge compliment. Thank you so much, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to project. I'm trying to channel his energy, because I do feel it. It's not really, I would say it's not really me. I'm not trying to contradict you, but it's he who empowers me, his soul.
He empowers you, but that's also you. I think what happens is that you love Beethoven's work, okay? But it's still your interpretation of his work. And I think if Beethoven were alive, he would say, my God, this is better than me. He would probably say that. Because my God, I'm just, it's still all about you, because it's your interpretation of his work. And let me tell you, when it's Grammy season and all that stuff, what I look for in an artist is I need to see that person's soul in their music. Whether they wrote it, whether it's a cover, whatever it is, I need to see that it's you playing. I need to know if it's an artist that sings that it's coming from their soul. That music is, and let me tell you something, listening to that, you were born to do music. That's period. There's no question.
Thank you.
The piece almost made me cry, because it's just you were born to do this, and you followed your dreams, and you're doing your thing, and this is what I like to see. This is what I like to hear. You are the type of women woman that people should look up to and be inspired and say, you know what, she's doing that, I can do it too. And you don't have to be a prodigy. You need to believe in yourself to know that you can do this. I mean, it's just amazing. When you're teaching, you know, what is your methodology? You know, what are you trying to teach into your students?
It's varies because I don't teach certain methods like Suzuki or something, because it depends on a student. It's very, very individual. And sometimes you get, so I tailor any method towards the student. And sometimes, believe it or not, I like problem students, which are very hard to teach. And of course, I like very talented students because I can talk to them on my level. But when I have a student who has a problem, sometimes they come from another, because it's a lot of it, it's not music or teaching itself, it's personalities clash, or because you're dealing with children. They're very sensitive, they have their own problems, and I love when I get like a psychologist some difficult situation. And actually, one of the students wrote me a letter that I helped her in her teenage years. It was so good, you know, with all the problems. And I didn't even know that. Just by music, just by, you know, by doing and explaining all these emotions, you know, it was very good. But my methodology varies from student to student, which a lot of teachers do. And what I do, I usually talk even to little kids, because I do teach. I had some kids starting at 3 years old, believe it or not. Some of them can, some of them can't. But the ones that can, they're very interesting to teach. It's all about personality, about dealing with people. It's not even so much about music. So I talk to them as if I talk to adult on my level, but you know, from a different point of view, because they're like us, but they're like in a different body, in a different level. So it's difficult for them to understand or to do. And once I give them a lot of technique, of course, scales, and they, you know, some kids hate it, exercises, but I teach it in such a way that they actually like it. Because, you know, all kids like sports. So for them, it's some kind of, I teach it in a fun way, but on a very high level. And also, I give them the pieces that they love. I choose the pieces that they love. Of course, I give them, okay, you take this piece, but you have to do, along with this piece, you have to do this and this, just for broadening repertoire. Because if you give them just pieces they love, they go on the tangent, they don't want to practice, they just want to, you know, they don't want to learn anything, just like do that. But if you do both, this way they'll learn repertoire at the same time they enjoy it. Right. So that's what. And also I push them very hard. I give them very hard assignments, but they don't know it, because I never scream. They think I'm not strict at all. That they come, you know, they're all like friends with me. Some of them when they leave and they go to college, and then you know they're my friends. But actually, it's on a very high level, and I push them really fast. You know, it's like on a fast pace. So I enjoy it because it's like it's for enjoyment dealing with interesting people. They're all very interesting people. But I'm never I never tell them, okay, do this exercise, repeat it 10 times. Because you do it until you get it right or until you're tired. You don't repeat 50 times this or 3 times this. I disagree with a lot of teachers on that methodology, but, you know, they're entitled to their own opinion. It's just my opinion.
Right. No, I get that. So what's next for you? What are your plans for the future for performing and recording?
Actually, because of this virus situation, I didn't play a lot of concerts last year, which were planned. So I have like a lot of programs piled up. And usually I do recordings once I learn the program, because I produce like in 10 years, I produced 9 recordings. I'm trying to catch up from my other career, which we didn't talk about it here, because I wasn't a musician all my life. I was 23 years. I was a computer programmer on a very high level. I didn't do music. So I'm trying to do these recordings, and I didn't do this record. So, and now I'm learning another program, plus I'm picking pieces from other years, which I didn't learn completely. So I have the work like tailored for me for another maybe 5 years of programs, which I love because I love learning new stuff. I like polishing old pieces, and I'm very, very busy, which is very good because music is very healing. We all know it, but it really helped me through the very hard parts of my life. Yeah. Physically, I mean, health-wise, it's very stabilizing, and of course, emotionally and everything. And I'm lucky to have music because even when I was working in the office, and terrible music really helped me in many, many ways. Yeah. So my plans for the future is to learn new programs and produce recording as much as possible. Mm-hmm. And I'm still very careful this year because I don't want to perform too much because maybe I'm paranoid, but I just don't want to get sick. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but it gives me a chance. Maybe I like to be, because big part of me is an introvert, so I actually like to work alone and just discover, like a scientist. I like that. I have and then I love to be in public too and playing. I'm paranoid about the concert, but once I get into it, it's a special feeling. So now I'm exercising my introvert philosophical nature. Which sometimes it's very hard with our hectic pace of life, Yeah,
no, I get it, and I'm just like you.
Interesting. Yeah,
music
good.
Is very healing for me. It was my saving grace. It's got me through a lot of things, so I completely understand that. Completely. Amen to that. Well, Sophia, our time is up. But my God, I need to buy one of your CDs because
go on YouTube. I'll send you links, but everywhere, Spotify, SoundCloud. I have all my recordings with all the tracks.
I don't buy physical CDs anymore, really, but I want to buy your physical CD. I actually would love to buy one to give to my uncle. So.
Oh, okay. You know what? Maybe because I have 9 of them, and the repertoire is very. Send him the links to my Amazon so he can select, because if he knows music, he will select what he really likes.
Yes.
Because the choice is very big.
I will do that. I'm going to send him the Spotify and all that good stuff, but it's still, I just want to, give back to
on Amazon or anywhere you can buy CDs.
Yeah, I want to give back to your artistry. I want to support your artistry. That's what I meant to say.
Thank you so much, Natalie.
I mean, I love you. Let me tell you, I love you. Because you're, like I said, you're so awe-inspiring. I'm glad you came on my podcast because I learned so much about you. You and I are very much the same in a lot of ways, and just mentally and authentically. You're just amazing, and you need to know that. You just fantastic, phenomenal. What else is there to say? But
thank you. Yeah, some of the questions that you ask, I was never asked in any other interview, and they're so you took me by surprise a lot of times. So whatever I said, it was completely, I don't know what I said, but it was very interesting. It was so very interesting, what we're talking about actually.
Yeah, well, most places will ask, the same repetitive questions, but my podcast is more about, two girlfriends sitting on a couch, just having a real conversation about who they are and how life affects them, and so I really know people on a personal level.
Yeah, that was very refreshing, actually. That was good. Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you. So, yes, I'm going to follow you everywhere that I can. I'll get my uncle to listen to some of your music, purchase some of your songs because I think they're good. And then I think eventually let's do an IG live because I'd like to see you on the IG, Instagram. Let's do that. And that will be that. But thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, it was something that I didn't expect quite 100. It was very good. Thank you very much, Natalie. And I'm glad that Beethoven made such an impact. That's great. I really love. And in real life, it's much better, of course, when you real live performance. So if I play whenever I come live, start playing live, maybe you're in the area, I will definitely put you on the list if you can come to the concert.
Yes. Let me know wherever you are, and if I'm in the area, I will definitely come to see you perform. Definitely.
Oh, that would be great. And same thing for you.
Where do you live now?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Are you coming? Can you come? Well, I don't know. I know you might not want to go out, but do you know?
I don't go out yet with the virus. I avoid any extra interaction, although I'm vaccinated and everything. So I'm still.
I was going to ask you if you knew about Kit Wakely's performance. He's going to be performing at Carnegie Hall on October 11th. And so what he does, he fuses classical with rock. I mean, it's amazing. I'll send you. I need to send you the link. I would honestly like to get your professional opinion of his album. I think it's phenomenal. But it's rock fused with classical, and he recorded it.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, I heard it because we're friends on, in social media and stuff. Yeah, so, we can talk, or I can send you email, besides. Yeah, it's very good. It's very interesting. It was. I was surprised because I also didn't expect that. It's very nice, actually. Very unique combination, what he does.
Yeah,
and it's cinematographic. It's interesting. It's not because some of the music sometimes, especially when it's repetition, it's getting boring. But his music is always exciting, even if he repeats the phrase and everything. It's always like builds up attention, and then always you expect like you're in some kind of in a fairy tale. That's what I like.
Yeah,
very nice.
Definitely. All right. Well, I hope you have a great rest of the week. It's just going to start Monday. Tomorrow's Monday. And you know what? Let's definitely keep in touch.
Yeah, very good. Thank you so much again. And keep what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. It's great. Let's be in touch, definitely.
All right. All right, everyone. That was multi-award-winning pianist Sophia Agranovich on Chatting with Nat. Find her, listen to her. She's on all streaming platforms. She's amazing. Go to her website. She is it. She's all inspiring. She's a woman. She does it all. So definitely go find her. So next time on Chatting with Nat, we'll talk to you later.
Chatting with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard.